We're coming to you live from our UNISA makeshift studio, and it seems we're off to a rocky start at 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. These are visuals we're beaming to you from inside the main auditorium, where the program had literally just kicked off, and it's understood somebody in the room collapsed. And it's still unclear, the exact circumstances surrounding the extent of the seriousness of the medical incident that's taken place, but we've heard of a call for some kind of assistance in order to assist the person who we're told may need that kind of help. If you've just joined us, this of course is meant to be the official start of the first national convention, which is going to outline the program for the dialogue, which is going to take place at a date yet to be decided upon. And hopefully, dare I say, this isn't an omen of what is to come, given just how rocky the process to get to this point has been, and given just how much of a disturbance or how much of a disruption this particular incident has now caused, literally just minutes into the start of the program itself. We've heard nonetheless from a number of people who are represented here, civil society organizations, government officials. In fact, before taking you to this room, we had spoken to Gwede Mantashe, senior ANC leader, really pouring cold water over those who are criticizing this process, suggesting that in fact it's being co-opted by the ANC. He's gone as far as to say, or at least to suggest, that those who have pulled out of at least this stage of the process have done so because they had hopes of somehow leading it. That's certainly my interpretation from the discussion we had a short while ago. But there's a bit of singing that's taking place inside the auditorium, I suppose trying to fill the silence that none of us had expected as some of the medical emergency officials who are on site respond to somebody who's collapsed. Let's just take in some of the sights and sounds as we watch what happens next. All right, so once again, these are scenes that are playing out inside the main auditorium here at UNISA's main campus. Some of the delegates who are present inside the room singing a chant, Asoze Aphela Mandla, we won't tire. And I suppose in some ways, this is going to be the refrain that they're going to need to hold on to, given just how bumpy the process has been to this point. If you've just joined us, the program had all but started just a few moments ago, and we are told that it's been interrupted because somebody inside the room collapsed. There has been some kind of effort now to try and give some kind of assistance to this person. Their identity still not known at this stage, and of course the extent of just how serious the medical situation is also not known. But I suppose this, if you like, is the very first hurdle of this process, which has been spoken about for more than a year now. It was in 2024, last year in April, when the former president Thabo Mbeki, as he was taking stock of 30 years of the country's democracy, in fact he was speaking at Freedom Park, not too far from where we are, and had spoken about the corruption and just the state of infrastructural decay, suggesting that perhaps what we need to do is to start this national dialogue, which must be held after the elections. In fact, he had said that the decay we had seen was the result of organized counter-revolution. And just a few weeks later, President Cyril Ramaphosa, making his first call to different stakeholders, also seemed to back those calls. In fact, I've just pulled up a quick quote where he says, "We will seek, as we have done to do so at many important moments in our history, to forge a social compact to realize the aspirations of our national development plan." And since then, there have been the developments and the series of events that have brought us here in an event where, let's face it, it's had its fair share of controversy and questions around its legitimacy. The SABC News channel is watching the story from a number of vantage points as we wait to see what will happen next in the wake of this medical emergency. Ntlantla Kgathlane is with us, also keeping an eye on developments. And Ntlantla, this, I suppose, is the first hurdle for this national convention.
Yes, well, indeed, Ayanda, talking to you from inside the venue where the president is set to give an opening address, but proceedings stopped a bit there because there's a person who needs medical attention. Currently, we can see from my position that she or he has been attended to. People who have gathered here keep on singing the songs. I don't know if it's to motivate or to keep the momentum, but what we can tell you, Ayanda, is the swift response. Currently now the person is being taken out of the venue to receive further medical attention. I would suspect they are being taken out. I'm just trying to see if it's an elderly person or a young person, but it's a bit too far. But yes, Ayanda, indeed, the proceedings as they began, some people raised their hands, shouting for that particular person to get medical attention. The medics are there now. They are being ushered outside the venue. I don't know if you can get our visuals there. Just at the top there's an exit where the medical staff will try and try and assist. But people here in high spirits singing songs, Ayanda.
Absolutely, Ntlantla. And I'm not sure if you're able to see this particular assistance as it's in place or as it gets underway. Essentially, Ntlantla, I'm trying to gauge how serious the situation looks, at least from your vantage point.
Well, it looks a bit serious. She or he's been surrounded by people. You can see they're trying to cover for people not to see Ayanda. They are currently now at one of the exits of this venue, but they've managed to get out of the main venue here where the president is sitting. The president is sitting down there, but the person is being ushered out to receive further medical attention. We saw people gathering around here, including the medical staff here, just to try and intervene or rather assist. Ayanda.
All right, Ntlantla Kgathlane is inside the auditorium. We are showing to you here at UNISA's main campus when one delegate, we understand, has collapsed and is currently receiving medical attention. And this has thrown the very first snag into the works, given the fact that the program had literally just begun when that happened. It doesn't seem to have doused the spirits of some of the delegates who are inside the room. And it's now a game of hurry up and wait. President Cyril Ramaphosa there, currently seated alongside one of the co-chairs of the the Eminent Persons Group in Rolf Meyer. These are individuals, of course, who in many ways have this really tall task or this incredibly heavy burden of not only inspiring confidence in this process, but in assuring some of the skeptics, and there are many of them, that this is time, money, and effort well spent. I think there are many people who are willing to pay a lot of money to hear the kind of discussions that they are having as we continue to wait to see what happens next. That's Marupeni Ramohopa sitting next to there to Sisi Tolashe, two senior ANC members, part of the NEC, and I imagine will also have a lot to say about how all of this unfolds. Religious organizations also well represented, as you can see there on your screen. The Hanyane present in the room as the singing and dancing continues, given this unexpected delay as a result of the medical emergency that's taken place inside the room. It's gone exactly 10:30 Central African time. It was meant to be the start of the national convention, which is going to outline how the national dialogue takes place, but we're dealing with the very first unexpected spanner in the works. Moments just after the program had begun, one of the delegates inside the room collapsed. And as I said earlier, hopefully this isn't an omen, a sign of what lies ahead, given just how much skepticism lingers over this gathering, which has been cast into doubt even before it began. I'm watching now, it seems that there is a bit of calm that is returning. It's not the best descriptor, but the delegates are now seated once again, a sign that perhaps the program, round 2, dare I add, is just about beginning. Let's take you back inside the room.
Our
and
divisions
listen.
and our differences, but to stitch our country, and I will emphasize this again, back together, thread by thread, story by story, memory by memory.